We are always talking about veterans on this channel, and it feels like we neglect the new players, but not today. Welcome to a brand new video of Gangsta Vegas. It's Takscales here, and I'm going to give you tips and tricks of the things I would have done if I was to start playing Gangsta Vegas today. And if you're a veteran, just write your tips and tricks in the comment section. Let's get into it. So this list is not in any particular order, we're just going to be going through it. So number one, we got G-Bucks. G-Bucks are one of the most important currencies in the whole game, being second to diamonds, of course. And the biggest mistake that I made when I started playing this game, I made a lot of mistakes. I would just buy unnecessary things like parachutes, clothes that I wouldn't even use in missions. They're like those clothes that don't give you any benefits, like stats. Then there are the other ones that are very useful, you know, they can increase your fighting power or something like that. And the other thing was I would play casino minigames. At this point, I didn't know how to play the games, so I was just like button mashing or trying to figure it out. But this resulted me in losing a lot of G-Bucks. And at that time, there was a diamond slot machine, which just made it even worse. And the other thing was reviving myself in missions. You know, it does make sense, like if you're this close to finishing the mission, then you just revive yourself. But if you're really far, I just suggest you just leave it and just start over again. Unless if it's like the street cred event, you know, you got energy and you have to use that energy. So reviving yourself would totally make sense in those situations. And the other thing is, I didn't take advantage of the times 10 button because I just hated ads. And now looking back to it, I should have been using it because it actually multiplies my rewards by 10 and give me a lot of skill points, which just makes it easy for you to upgrade your skills, which we're going to talk about in a later segment. And this is a good trade-off for watching an ad, and you can get up to 200k G-Bucks, which is actually good. Diamonds. Being involved in most of the transactions in this game, I'm pretty sure you can see what I did wrong. So the first mistake that I made was to convert my diamonds into G-Bucks. Remember, I'm still free to play, and I use my hard-earned diamonds to buy G-Bucks, a currency that I could have acquired just by playing some missions and just exploring the world. And this kinda depleted them. So the thing that you shouldn't do with diamonds is to purchase G-Bucks, top up your armor packs, and buy repair kits, because you can actually find these things in the world, and you can just play missions if you want some G-Bucks and use the times 10 option I was talking about. And the other thing that I did wrong was to use diamonds to unlock story missions. You know, when you're just starting to play the game, you're like getting into the flow of the mission and you just want to continue playing it. You get a point when your level is too low to continue playing the game. And at this point, I started using diamonds to unlock the story missions early, and little did I know that I could just play some side missions and get those skill points, and it would have been done just like that. And the other thing you shouldn't use your diamonds to do is to purchase drop crates. Just don't do it. If there's something that you want, like an item or something, just don't do it, because you have a low chance of getting that item from the drop crates than just waiting for it to come to the shop, which happens a lot of times. So just wait for an item, then purchase it, than to use your diamonds to purchase drop crates. And something you shouldn't overlook, it is the landmarks. The landmarks actually give you extra items like VIP points and diamonds, or even G-Bucks. So you should grind out those missions and upgrade your landmarks. So when we're looking at weapons, there are a lot of options to choose from. And I'm just going to give you a list of weapons that are going to carry you throughout the whole Gangsta Vegas playthrough. So when we're looking at handguns, we have the Silver Shot. The Silver Shot can actually one-shot every NPC in the game. This gun can come in clutch when you're playing street cred events or any other event that needs you to kill NPCs very fast. And there's another honorable mention on the handgun section. We have the Hack Blaster. Even though it has a lower rarity score, it actually does more damage than the Silver Shot, which is pretty cool. But it kind of has a slow firing rate, which is gonna make it hard for you to target those NPCs. So looking at SMGs, we actually have a lot of options, but there's one that actually stands out, which is the Eliminator. Being easy to acquire and also dealing a lot of damage. This weapon does come in clutch, for reals. It actually does a lot of damage. At level 3, you can actually kill NPCs very fast, but I rarely use SMGs. I just have them as a backup in case if my rifle runs out of ammo. Just know that when you're playing a zombie mission, you can actually use a ZOA SMG because it does times 5 damage than most of the weapons to zombies. So looking at shotguns, I actually recommend Heavy Shotgun. It is a good option and it's pretty easy to acquire. Then you also have the frostbitten backshot. With this one, it actually one-shots some of the enemies, but if they don't die within one shot, it actually freezes them. So looking at assault rifles, we have the heavy AR. This is a good weapon. It actually carried me throughout my early game playthrough before I changed to the tactical one, which is very good because it does a lot of damage. But the one that I use these days, it is the AK. That one is top tier if you can get it, because it actually does 416 per shot. And looking at the fire rate of this thing, you can actually kill most of the NPCs very fast. So looking at heavy weapons, we have a lot of options, but there are some good ones and some bad ones. So one of the best ones, it is the classic big gun or the nuclear launcher, of which the nuclear launcher is actually obtainable because you can just buy it using G-Bucks, but it does cost a lot. It does a lot of damage, like 14k damage, which is the highest damage you can do in this game. Some other good options are the hand mortar, but just make sure that you don't stand close to the enemy when you shoot because you also take damage. Brimstone shotgun, which is very easy to acquire because you can buy it using G-Bucks. So when you're looking at snipers, there are actually some good ones which are at low level. For example, you can talk about the bolt action rifle. That one will actually carry you throughout the whole game, some parts of the whole game, because it actually one-shots most of the NPCs, which is good for sniper missions. But the best one that I would go for, which is actually easily obtainable because you can purchase it using G-Bucks, it is the Avic. If you get it to level 3, you're actually covered for all the missions that you're going to play. So when talking about melee weapons, we also have a lot of options. We have, for the low levels, we have the blade. If you can get that weapon to level 3, it's going to not do one shots as such, but going to be doing a lot of damage, probably like around 3 hits to kill the enemy. And there are some other good options, like the best ones. You can actually get the Prunerator. That one you can actually buy it, so it's pretty much obtainable for anyone, and that one does a lot of damage. We're talking about 1 hit only. But if you're able to come across some street cred events, you can actually get the Royal Cutter. That one is also a solid option. And something else that you should try to get are drones. Drones are actually helpful when you're in a mission. It'll be like you have extra firepower between those moments when you're reloading your gun or between shots. So now we're going to talk about vehicles. So we're going to start with the heavy vehicles. So in the heavy vehicles section, we have quite a number of good options, but there's one that's actually easy to obtain and it's actually good. That is the Badland Bully. This vehicle is actually great. It has the speed and the firepower to go with it. And it's very easy to obtain since you can just buy the car using G-Bucks, which makes it very easy to obtain. And the second best option on this list, it is the NC4 Firestorm. It is kind of hard to obtain this vehicle, but it's actually a good vehicle since normal guns do not work on this one, so you'll be pretty much safe in most of the missions that you're going to play using this vehicle. And it's also fast, which makes it 10 times better than the Jackalope. So now let's go to the planes. So when looking at flying vehicles, we do have some options. Number one being the Kakla. The Kakla is very easy to obtain since it's very cheap and it does cover you for most of the missions, but for those missions that require a higher rarity vehicle, maybe you can use a Jolly Time Jet or a Delusion 5000. That's if you're able to take it to level 3. It should cover you for most of the missions. But looking on the other side of flying vehicles, I'm just going to say just buy a jetpack. Much better than using helicopters and all of these other vehicles because it's easier to maneuver. If you don't have plenty of diamonds, you can actually get the prototype jetpack. It's actually a good jetpack. Okay, so when we are talking about boats, we do have plenty of options. So for number one, you can actually get this one, the Megaptera.
Megaterra.
Yeah, we also have this one. It's actually a good boat. Then if you're able to purchase the Wave Chaser, that's the best one. That one's going to cover you for all of your missions, even though it's kind of hard to steer, but it's actually a good vehicle. So now we're talking about our sports vehicle. We have the Kearsarge, which is a good entry-level sports car, and it's very easy to obtain since you can buy it using G-Bucks. And the other option is Thornback. This car is fast, but in some races you might just find yourself losing. We also have the Katori, which is very easy to level up and obtain since you can just buy it. And if you cannot get the Galopino, there's always another option, which is the Geo series. You can actually buy this car using G-Bucks, which makes it a good deal and is very fast. So we're gonna skip the common car section since there are no missions that require you to use those vehicles, and just go to the bikes. So the first entry-level bike we're gonna be talking about is the Hellbat. This bike is very fast and it's very easy to obtain. The HXR 770. This bike is fast. Even at level 1, it can top out most of the vehicles. And when you get it to level 3, just know that you're going to win every race that you're going to get into. And we also have the Iron Grinder. That's another great bike. So when it came to skills, the biggest mistake that I made was to upgrade any skill without actually considering if it was really useful to me or not. So what I would suggest is for you to upgrade the skills for the weapons. Just make them to do more damage, then focus on the ones that increase your sprinting speed, your swimming speed, and go to the vehicles, increase their acceleration, and go to the police ones. The ones that reduce police awareness and the other one, those are the most important ones. Then you can play around with the other ones after you've upgraded those ones first. And the last thing is gangs. Even though these days it's very hard to find one gang that's very active, you should try to join a gang, and these guys will actually help you out with materials to upgrade your weapons and vehicles. And that's pretty much it. If you have made it this far, consider to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And thank you guys for watching this video. It really means a lot, and this here was really fire. Thank you all for subscribing and the likes and the comments on my videos, and pretty much looking forward to continuing doing this. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, dudes.